Is it going? Okay. Okay, so for my game, I came up with a 4-player game, and it's called What's My Deal? The object of the game is to see if you can make a life choice just based on listening to what others can say. Throughout the game, no one is allowed to talk except the person reading the stake card, and then each player gets to read their own stake card to everybody else and explain to each one why they should get the deal. No other communication is allowed until the end of the game, which results in the deal and whoever wins. Anyone can confess to the crime and get a deal regardless of the best plea. This game solely relies on listening and retaining information. Okay, so here are the rules. Each player takes one deal card and one stake card, but you can't read them yet. Then you're going to read the scenario, you're going to open the deal card, but you can't tell anyone what the deal card is because that's what you are. It's either a murderer, a person who covered the crime, a person who knows about the crime, and a person who covered up the crime. And then after you read your deal card, you're going to fold it and you're going to keep it and not show anyone. And then you're going to read the penalty card. The penalty card is pretty much saying whoever confesses to the crime first doesn't get jail time and gets a deal. The rest of the people who don't confess get jail time. So then you're going to go ahead and open your stake card, and after you finish reading it, you're going to read it to everybody else. And then once everybody else reads their own stake card, you get a minute to explain why you think that you should get the deal. So depending on if you're the murderer or if you're the person who committed the crime or what, you get to explain to your other people why you should get the deal and why you shouldn't get jail time. So here's the scenario. You and 3 other people are police members or officers, whatever you want to call it. One officer is the murderer, one knows who committed the crime, the other one covered up the crime, and the officer knows about the cover-up. So you're all pretty much screwed together. You all did something bad and you all decided to just not pay attention to the rules. So the captain of your squad realizes that something's up. He throws you all into an interrogating room, and before questioning you each individually, he puts you all into one interrogating room to see if you want to confess to anything, thus the game. So while all together, he casually reminds you that it's a felony to commit a crime, a felony to withhold information, and a felony to tamper with evidence. And then he asks you if there's anything you want to tell him. And this would be the place where you confess and say, like, yes, I did the crime, I covered up the crime, and so on. Okay, so before we start playing the game, there's 2 penalties. Whoever confesses to the crime gets a deal first. So you can either be, depending on your stake card, which are single with 2 kids, married to the DA, no confession, like no ties to the community, or you're related to the murderer. Depending on what your stake card is, and depending if you're the murderer or if you're the person who committed the crime, you get to choose if they should get a deal or if someone else should get a deal. So you take a minute and you explain to the 4 or your 3 other people that you're playing with, and you tell them why you should get the deal. The first person who confesses and gets a deal walks away with no jail time, regardless if he's a murderer or what. You could be the murderer with single and 2 kids, so of course you want to get off free. Or you could be the murderer and married to the DA. Like, obviously, if you're married to the DA, they can kind of get your way. You get me? It just depends who you are and what you have that's up for stake. Whoever is left without a deal, so the rest of the 3 members, jail time will be sentenced accordingly. So if, say, the person who covered up the crime is single with 2 kids and gets the deal, the murderer is going to get more jail time than the person who covered up the crime. You get me? It all depends. Okay, so are you guys ready to play the game? Okay.
Okay, my stake is I am married to the DA.
So why should
We all read the stake and all
no ties to anyone, no family?
What's at stake? Related to the murderer.
Single with 2 kids.
I think I should get.
my deal is
No, you're not supposed to say that.
Okay, you did it once, so do it.
I think I should get.
Huh?
I don't think I should be.
guilty.
Yes.
Found guilty? Why?
Because I have no family.
And so if you were to be found guilty, you wouldn't put anyone through any pain, so you would be the perfect candidate.
But my name would not live on.
Your name, okay. That's it?
I think I should get it
Why should you get a deal?
Because I am single and I have 2 kids. Who's gonna take up my kids? My kids will probably be sent to the Texas,
It's called orphanage. Go
Department
fine.
of, it's an
Foster
orphanage, fosters, and they'll probably be separated because I have 2 they're twins. So I think I should get a deal.
But if.
So why don't we all just say deny and walk? What's that?
I should get plea because I'm married to the DA and it's bad reputation.
Okay, so the game What's My Deal features 3 aesthetics. Fantasy, which allows the players to become police characters that they wouldn't normally be in life. Fellowship, which allows the players to be a team depending if they want to be nice and deny and confess and give up their life to let someone else go free. And competition, because there's always that one option to just be like, you know what, forget you, I don't care if you're single, I don't care if you have 2 kids, I don't know if you're married to the DA, I just want to win. So there's always that competition. And this game involves a great listening skill and attention span, because if you're not listening, then I mean you could be the one who knows about the crime and is married to the DA, and you end up getting jail time because you weren't listening to the murderer who didn't make a very good plea. So it involves attention and it involves listening, and it's pretty interesting. And without paying attention to the speaker, the 3 other players won't know what advantage or disadvantage they have depending on their state cards. It all depends on how they, I guess, word their reasons why they should be set free and not get jail time, and listening and reading what they have. So it's a great communication and thinking skill game.